Hey guys, Chef here. I'm just going to do a spring clean of both of my machines. So I thought I would talk you through that in case some of you are due for one. Do you know if you're due for one? You'll know if you're due for one because you'll be thinking, oh, I've not done that. Or you can just see there's a bit build up of grime and then you'll know that it's about time. Let's just get started. So first thing you need to do is disconnect them. I'm going to do both machines, so it doesn't matter which machine you have. Okay, I'm going to start with the 31. I'll bring it forward a bit, so we'll just get this right here. That looks all right. Okay, I'm going to remove the bowl. Now, firstly, the bowl, some of you would be doing the self-clean. I personally, because I have the two machines, I'm really lucky, and I also have a second bowl for this one, I pretty much put mine in the dishwasher every time, and that's why it's looking so sparkly. Putting it in the dishwasher brings it up really sparkly. But if you're someone who doesn't pull it apart very often, I'll just quickly show you. So the video will probably come up back to front. It'll look like I'm left-handed right now, even though hang on, that is my left hand, but it'll look like it's my right hand. So you're going to twist clockwise, remove that, and then take the blade out. So if you haven't done that in a while, give it a good scrub underneath. I pull it apart every time I put it in the dishwasher, and what I do is I take that out, I stick that on the cutlery rack, on top of the cutlery rack. Then that fits snug together like that on my bottom rack, and the MC I put on the top rack. And it comes out beautiful. You can, oh, that's the old seal. I shouldn't be showing that. Oh, sorry, I was going to put a disclaimer at the start of this. So just a reminder that Daniela and I are in no way affiliated with Thermomix. This is just how I spring clean my machine. I used to be a consultant, so some of this should be, or all of it should be correct, but things may have changed, you know, in light of safety information and all of that sort of stuff. So this is just how I spring clean my machine. And that's it. So I'll stick that aside. This is the next step, more what I'm referring to as a spring clean. So you want a cloth, a clean cloth that is damp but not wet. If I squeeze that, no, well, okay, one drop just came out. So it's damp but not wet. All right. And I'm going to start with this section here. Just check you can see that. Yeah. Drag that back and forth. Give that a nice clean, and this side too. Really important on this side, which is when you can see the lid lock mechanism. I'm not going to push too hard because I don't want a consultant friend of mine once was doing this, and one drop of water went in, just so happened to land on some of the electrics, and that was enough to short out the motherboard. So really careful in this area with any cloth. You could even just use a dry cloth just to be certain. All right, that looks good. Okay, and down here, give this a good clean out. There are, you know, people make specialist little tools and stuff for doing all this. I don't find it really necessary, but I'm sure it would make it. I poke that cloth through there, pull that through, that cleans out that little overflow area. Okay, if you're going to use a chemical, this is just water. I find it's enough. If you're going to use a chemical, use a really gentle one. I have used spray and white before, but if you're going to use something like that, spray it on the cloth, not the machine, because you don't want it just going all over the place and everywhere. You can get in here with a little brush or skewer or something, a skewer sort of covered. I'll show you what I mean. So I use the blunt end of the skewer, cover it with the cloth, and I can get in those little grooves. And that's getting out a little bit of gunk, so that's good. I haven't done this for a while. Don't tell anyone. All right, that got out some good little bits of gunk. Ooh, yuck. All right, I'm going to give my cloth a real quick rinse. Okay, we're going to do the front panel now. Avoid always avoid anything scratchy on the front panel, or you're going to end up rubbing your numbers off. And I try and always avoid chemical because I don't want to lose those numbers. I'm just wiping over gently. Okay, and the back. The cord sometimes gets a bit dirty, so I'm going to run that down. Pull it all the way out, give it a full wipe. You know, you can tuck that back in. I don't know if you know that. Some people don't. That this, it's just got a cavity inside, and you can actually just tuck it all the way in and have only as much as you want poking out when you need it. All right, next thing we're going to do, this is probably the most important part of a spring clean, to be honest, is we're going to tip it on its back. Now, with this machine, if you ever have a spill and some water gets like on these pins, the first thing you do is you tip it on its back. The reason for that is at the back here, inside, is just the cavity for the cord. So, but at the front is the electrics. So if the water goes in, it's going to spread around the base. So straight away, you flip it on its back with the screen facing the ceiling, and then the water will run to the back there in the empty cavity, and then you leave it like that for 24 hours so that it will dry. And then you turn it on and see if it's working. All right, so you can see underneath here, the feet are a bit dirty. Okay. Now, it's important to keep under here clean and in your bench clean. With the TM31 in particular, these here are the air vents. So it's drawing air in to the motor from here. So if you have a big puddle on your bench underneath your Thermomix, there's a chance that it can draw some of that moisture in through those air vents. The new one has them on the back, I think, so it's a bit different. So I'm just going to wipe over those feet. It's important to keep the feet clean because that's where the scales are connected. The scales connect, well, not connect, but they are, you know, all the way through the feet. Yeah, they're connected to the feet. So that's why if you're trying to weigh something but you're tipping ingredients in and leaning on the machine, that the scales jump all over the place because you're putting weight on it, basically. All right, and that's it. That's done. That looks beautiful, nice and clean. Okay, I'm going to put that one aside. And I'm going to also, of course, make sure I give my bench a good clean. I know that you should keep it on a board or something, but I've stopped doing that a long time ago with that particular one. Only because the reason that you do that is to protect the scales, and I know the scales on my TM31 are already slightly out, so I just thought, oh well, they're already out, so I won't bother. It's just easier to have it straight there on the bench. Okay, now let's bring this one in. I keep it right next to my stove, so it gets a light film of grease all over it, unfortunately. So I'm going to give that a really good clean today. Take that off. Removing it is exactly the same. Twist it clockwise. Take that out. If you're doing a bowl clean at the same time, putting it back on, you hold it. I'm holding the blade right now. Sit it that way so that is to the right of the handle, and just squeeze it together like that. Okay, so same thing, I'm just going to wipe it all over. A few more little areas to clean on this one because it's got those extra arms. I've not really done this spring clean on this one very much because this is my newest addition to the family. Okay, exactly the same, except I can't poke that cloth down there, I don't think. That goes straight down, so well, maybe I could. Let's give it a go. Oh yeah, look, that goes all the way through. Where is it? There it is. Oh, you can't see that. I feel like a magician. There we go. good. And yeah, that one goes in there too. It's the same. If I want it, I'll only be pulling it out again anyway, but now this one I was noticing, because I just double checked the instruction manual, which you can access online if you just search TM5 instruction manual or TM31 manual. It's all right there. I noticed that it explains to you in the manual how to remove these here. I don't think you need to remove them for cleaning though. I think that's only if they need replacing. I'm not sure why they would need replacing either. I guess if they break, or perhaps I need to look into that, or if any of the consultants watching can comment why. That would be great, why that would need removing. And the instructions for this one, so the TM31 I tipped on its back. The instructions for this one says you tip it down this way. That's not for spills, that's for accessing this. Can you see that? Yeah. This thing here, and it's got instructions in the manual of how to remove it. I don't think there's any reason for me to remove that today, but I'm just going to give the feet a clean. And the base. A little bit of muck there. There. That looks lovely. Okay, and the reason that people, as I said, use that is it makes no difference if you're in general use sitting it here and sitting it on a bench as far as protecting your scales and things like that. The reason is when you move it. So if you are dragging the machine back and forth just on the bench, then it can affect your scales, because it can affect the feet, because the feet are rubbery and sort of grab to the bench a bit. So the reason people use these special sliders or a chopping board is so that you can move the chopping board without moving the feet. But of course you have to check, same as the bench, that your chopping board doesn't have any debris, because any little thing, a grain of rice, few bits of sugar, anything, sugar, wrong group, anything sitting under the feet will affect the scales. Okay, let's put them back. Okay, I'll be back there in a sec, sweetie.
They do it.
Just cleaning the Thermomix. So as I put this one in, I'm picking it up, so I'm not sliding it, even though I know the scales are out anyway. Still don't want them to get any worse. It actually has to come a little bit forward because of those. Oops. Oops. What's that? I haven't put that back together. I like to always leave mine not with the lid in, because then it just creates a little bit more of an airflow while they're resting. That's everything, I think. Yep, so that's how to give your Thermomixes a good little spring clean. They look really lovely and sparkly now. I'll take a photo of it and maybe use that as my screenshot. All right, thanks for watching. Happy Thermomixing. Bye.